Hello and welcome to another episode of AI Accelerator Podcast, where we explore, innovate, transform with intelligent automation and emerging technologies. I'm your host Tushar from Accelerate, where we empower business through automation, AI, and agent-based solution to reshape how work gets done. Today's episode is a special one. We are stepping into the regulated world of life sciences, where innovation must walk hand in hand with compliance. Our focus is risk management of agentic AI systems with respect to global regulatory inspections and audits. Joining me is Akshay from Millennium, a company known for its forward thinking approach in IT services for the pharmaceuticals and in healthcare industries. Akshay, thrilled to have you here. Would you like to say a few words about your background?
Sure. Thanks, Tushar. Thanks for this generous introduction. Hi, guys. I'm Akshay Hirulkar. So basically, I work for Millennium and I'm specialized in risk assessment and risk management, compliances, and regulatory authorities' needs to fulfill their requirements with respect to the regular computer software systems as well as with the AI software systems. So basically, this is about the regulated environment we need to have for the AIs to make the decisions in a better way or the compliant way. To make patient safety more effective and the product quality should be even more effective. Yeah.
That's good to know. Now let's begin with a quick primer. Agentic AI refers to system or bots that don't just follow instructions but can autonomously plan, reason, and take action towards a defined goal, often interacting with multiple systems or human in the loop. Akshay, what are the some real world application of agentic AI that you are seeing in life science space?
So most of the AI applications nowadays are building for the clinical trial management. So basically, when I talk about clinical trial management, it's a multicentric trial, as you know. There are thousands of people involved in multiple phases of clinical trial, and doctors or the clinical trial professionals need to get the inputs from the patients, and we know that how often patients are avoiding such kind of inputs. Like they do not stick to the regular dosages, and they do not stick to the regular procedure, so they don't follow, they don't take the medicines on time. So in that process, you know what, the clinical trial expectations or outcomes are not as per the expected outcomes. So in that condition, AI agents or agentic AI plays a quite significant role for such follow-ups, for taking medicines, for getting the inputs. Like for example, there is a device called Spandan. It's available. It's a IoT device which is used for the ECGs. So it's basically built with the AI. At the same time, IoTs are involved. So it's just that you need to stick your device to the body part or wherever you want on the body, and it will capture the electromagnetic waves, and it will transfer the data to the system. So that will make the doctors more convenient to get the results on real time basis, and they can optimize. In fact, AI can optimize the results. They can see what is the growth in the dosage or growth in the like symptoms, or maybe what expected symptoms they should show or what expected outcome it should show, and accordingly it will plot a graph and it will plot a results which will again analyzed for the effectiveness of the dosage form. So that is how AI will enhance the clinical trial effectiveness and clinical trial efficiency in order to make it more better, more convenient, faster, and more accurate, because it does not need any human interference. When human interference is there, you will get errors, but AI won't make such kind of errors. Of course, there are certain parameters AI needs to fulfill, and that is where AI risk management comes into place.
Got it. I mean, from this perspective, from hearing from you, I see because it might happen people are missing out, some of the described thing like you need to take the medicine at this point of time, and with
Yeah,
that device we can definitely get the real factors. And sometimes it happens, the human tendencies, they might forget to even tell a particular symptom. and uh,
true.
and having that first check with the help of the AI, we'll be able to better diagnose or better cure that thing. So that is very interesting to know. And with
Exactly.
this, uh, that brings us to the regulatory expectations, basically, like from the FDA's or from the EU's MHRA guidance. So how do
Yes.
these current framework align with the agentic system?
Yeah. So basically, they have nowadays AI is more focused on life sciences industries, because life sciences industries has the maximum use of AI. So that is why, but life sciences industry has the regulations, and agentic AI somewhere is not compliant enough to make it more regulatory compliant, or make it more patient compliant, or you can say for the patient safety stuff. When it comes to the patient safety, you cannot rely on AI, right? Nowadays AI is not that powerful, or I would say it's not a super AI, so which can make more accurate decisions, which can make more unbiased decisions. But we need to check for the biasness, we need to check for the fairness of the AI. We need to check for the brittleness of the AI. There are a lot of factors, there are a lot of factors you need to check, or you need to test before you incorporate any AI system into the patient use, right? So there comes the regulations part. Now there are multiple regulations which are applicable for the AIs. It's first of all, we usually, when I talk about pharma compliance, so it comes to the 21 CFR Part 11. So these are US FDA guidelines. These are particularly for the electronic records and electronic signatures. So basically, when an AI takes the decision, it is considered as, or AI makes any reports or records, it is considered as a electronic records, and that comes in the purview of 21 CFR Part 11. And US FDA now have drafted all the automation guidelines for this particular AI incorporation into the life sciences software systems. Basically, these deals with the sole AI systems, subsystems, as well as for the integrations with multiple other systems. For example, SAP. This is used in multiple requirements, right? For example, for your material management, for your clinical trial management, for your sources, resources, and then you have it in supply chain management. A lot of like segmented segments are there in SAP. There are multiple clinical trial management system, cloud-based SaaS applications, pharmacovigilance system. The most prominent use of AI is nowadays into the pharmacovigilance. So pharmacovigilance is basically a post marketing strategy for clinical trial drugs. So, when I talk about phase 4 of clinical trial, it's basically when you get the approval for marketing or for the usage of that particular trial drug into the patients. Then from the patient's perspective, you get certain inputs from the patient, that they're facing some headaches, they're facing some heartburn, or like acidity, or whatever symptoms they feel after taking that particular medicine. So that when marketed preparations give certain side effects, that are taken into consideration as a pharmacovigilance inputs, and those inputs are obviously done on the non-clinical trial participants. These are regular patients like you, me, and everyone else. So these are not clinical trial participants on which they usually test the drugs. So these inputs are irregular. Now you cannot have such irregular inputs, right? You have to
Mhm.
make it more regulatory compliant, or make it, you have to fit into the regulatory structure. when you want to submit such kind of adverse events, or it is usually called adverse events. When you want to share those adverse events with the regulatory bodies, when you create certain reports, it has to be in a structured way. There is a dictionary called medra. So now what agentic AI does, they take the input from the patient, they collect the input, they drive or process the input into the structured way, they put it into the software, they process it for the regulatory submission, and now when the regulatory submission happens, there are certain inputs given by the outputs given by the or queries given by the regulatory authorities, which will be again answered in a proper way with some human what you can say with some human efforts needed, or with some human interfacing. So that is the most powerful AI right now can be implemented into the systems. And there are certain risks, of course, but this is the best use right now for the AI in pharmacovigilance. So now, when I talk about risks associated with such kind of processes, the first of all, how would you ensure that the risks or adverse events captured are correct? I mean, it is captured from the humans, right? Human can
Yes.
make mistakes, like as you mentioned a few minutes back. We don't know what exactly the terminology. I cannot tell you sometimes what happens into me after taking that medicine. It might be heartburn. It might be like the GERD. Like GERD means it's hyperacidity. You can say in simple words, hyperacidity. How can a simple human like my mother, she is not comfortable with English, she is not comfortable with medical terminologies, and she is not at all flexible to give the inputs to the AI. Now
Exactly.
there comes the risk. Now if you give such devices to my mother, who is not that I mean that confident enough to give the inputs, she might face certain issues. Now it's up to
Mhm.
AI how it will take from my mother, and how it will capture the results, and how it will process it further. If that AI processes the wrong result, obviously it will be going as a wrong entry, and it will be submitted as a wrong entry to the regulatory authorities. Now, regulatory authorities will think that this medicine is not optimum for the patient use, or it's not safe for the patient's use. So
Mhm.
there comes the huge amount of respect for the company, the you can say finances. Multi-billion trials are happening for the bigger companies like Pfizer, Novartis. They do such kind of clinical trials, and if that wrong entry makes certain wrong decisions, there will be a quite a big impact on their
Mhm.
market value as well as for their finances.
Yeah.
So these risks you need to avoid, and those regulatory guidelines will make sure your AI system will be appropriate for the patient use and for the regulatory compliance perspective. So that is why 21 CFR have drafted a quite nice guidelines. They have a very detailed approach for the automation. The second guideline, parallelly, European also has their own guidelines called Annexure 11 and GAMP, which is good automated manufacturing practices. So recently in 2022, GAMP has revised their automation guidelines, that they've included extensive AI part, which will talk about how automation should be risk based. Okay, how automation should be analyzed for their risks, and how it should be tested based on the risks. For example, if I talk about the high risk parameters, for example, this let's take the same example of clinical trial management systems. Now, if I talk about the risk with the clinical trial, as I already mentioned, there are a lot of patient health and safety concerns when I talk about clinical trials. So, if somewhere automation goes wrong, or somewhere there is obviously the test data, there could be a biased test data, or there could be you can say the unsupervised data, okay, uncleaned data, which will make certain decisions in a biased way. So if such kind of things happens with the AI, it will do a lot of harm to the patient safety. But if there is a low risk AI, for example, the AI is just capturing a result and just processing for the regulatory submission, it will make the report ready, and now it is ready for the human review. Then in that condition you have a two factor authentication, right?
Hmm.
So human is basically supervising AI, or human can actually override the decisions of AI, right?
Got it.
So this is the more controlled structure in life sciences. The agentic AI, I totally agree that it will take the decisions, it will make all the processes ready for the human, and there will be no human intervention. But there has to be certain control over the AI. That control is given by these regulatory authorities. So, what kind of security guidelines you should follow, what kind of authentication you should follow, what kind of audit trail it should be. There has to be certain entries needed to be captured in your audit trail. It has to be reviewed with the particular durations. It has to be like audited, inspected periodically. There has to be a periodic review of testing. There has to be a
Hmm.
what you can say adversarial testing need to be performed periodically. So this is how it will give the control over that particular wrong decision making. And
Got it.
then European Union, they have also drafted their separate guidelines, which is called Annexure 11. Like you mentioned, MHRA now separated from European guidelines. MHRA is also considering the automation in a vast way, because
Hmm.
MHRA has a very big role in Indian pharma market. Most of the medicines are going from the Indian market and Chinese market. So they have drafted considering all these things. Uh, there are certain other regulations also, like ISO. There is some guidelines like 14971. This is for informative risk management. There are multiple other guidelines for medical devices. Like for medical devices, we have 13485. So this is how the AI is controlled from the regulatory perspective.
That's good to know. And I see, with the advent of any technology, what I've seen in general, there is a certain set of, questioning like how will that happen? And but the fact that you said that there is a human in the loop in between, it's not like fully
Yes.
something which is dependent on that machine. For example, for the audience, it's like if some certain set of things are need to be managed by a human, then definitely as per the requirements we can have that. So
Yes.
it gives them a certain set of assurance for the patients, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it happens because the audience or the patients could be in a wide set of category and different region, right? So there is a flexibility, and the ease of use of technology is also a factor. So I think
True.
that helps in that particular thing. So that's a good thing to know. And
Absolutely.
the things that you've said that are very insightful. So what does a risk management strategy look like in this context? Like how can companies build the AI system that are both powerful and compliant at the same time?
True. So, as I mentioned earlier, the control over the AI is important factor. Okay. So, where the control is given by the autonomy. So, autonomy in the sense, the AI autonomy, where the human is involved. What is the intent of human to make the AI, make the use of AI? In what conditions, in to the what extent, to what extent human is involved, how human intervention is happening, like it's just a superficial intervention, or it's like a as previously I mentioned, there is a control. I mean, human can override the decisions. As you mentioned, human in the loop, human on the loop. These are the factors which will decide the AI risk. Okay. For example, there are five, six categories of risks. Okay. So there is level one, level zero, level one, level two, level three, level four, and level five. This is totally based on the AI autonomy, the control over the AI by humans. So level zero is our regular, so it's like just simple automation. For example, if I have to I have to release a software. Okay, I have to release a version of a software, right? And now I just have to install it. I have just have to perform the installation qualification, and it's like a what you can say. There is no as such need of any decision making or any uh, what you can say. It's kind of no report generation is needed, or no compliance is adequate over there. You can just follow the procedure what is written and follow the code what is written, and there is nothing as such decision making happening. So that is level zero, right? So in that condition is simple automation. There is no AI involvement, or there is no machine learning involvement, right? So
Okay.
there is, you can say, there is a no risk or low risk, very low risk. Then there is a phase level zero, level one, okay, where human intervention is needed. It's the decisions are made by humans, however the suggestions are given by AI. Like for example, I have given the input that I have a diabetes mellitus, and the level the criticality of diabetes mellitus is critical. Okay, for example, let's say critical. Now AI will give the line of treatment, will suggest the line of treatment as per my medical reports. Okay, I have also given the medical reports to the AI software. Now AI has given me the line of treatment, or there are a couple of suggestions given by the AI. Usually, doctors are also doing the same thing, right? In a real practice, doctors usually have two to three suggestions, right? They try the most prominent first, okay, then the higher
Hmm.
one, and then the extreme one. If the like patient doesn't get the effect from the first line of treatment, then they change the line of treatment accordingly. Similarly, AI gives such kind of suggestions which will help doctors to make the decisions more prominently. And as we know, the AI runs on the data, right? AI runs on the source data. So the suggestions given by AI are more prominent, more effective, more data based, and more efficient when it comes to the human decisions, because doctors have n number of patients, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes doctors also make mistake. We face a lot of issues with the doctors too. AI is something different. Sometimes AI is more convenient, right?
Hmm.
So sometimes AI is more, you can say, a preferred choice for suggestion making. That is your level one. So here again, I would say there is a human control, because AI is suggesting, not deciding. So there is a low risk. You have a second factor or third factor authentication too. So multiple doctors can review those suggestions, and as per the reports or as per the actual diagnosis, they can give the treatment to the patients. Now there comes the second level, level two. Now here the doctor's involvement or the human intervention. So this first level, sorry, the first level is called human in the loop. Now the second level is called human on the loop. So basically, second level, AI is taking decisions, but the humans can override those decisions if needed. Otherwise, it will go as it is in the
Okay.
further processing. So that is called the overriding. This is called human on the loop. So humans can review the decisions whenever they feel that AI is not taking a right decision, or where AI is not suggesting a good output. So human can override those decisions, and they take own decisions. So that is level two. So here again, I would say the risk level is moderate, right? So risk level is moderate, then there is a chance of having, but still there is a chance of having certain crisis to patient safety or certain issues to the patient safety or regulatory compliance point of view. Then there is a level 3. Okay, level 4. So level 4, there the human intervention is quite low. Okay, when human intervention is quite low, it is like it is kind of AI agents which are taking the decisions. Like for example, if I talk about the ticketing system, right? If I face certain issues in my laptop, I raise the ticket, right? The ticket is processed, it will be assigned to the some person, the data will be added automatically, the categories will be selected automatically, and it will be forwarded to the level 2 support. Now level 2 support gives their input and it will be forwarded to another level of support, to level 3 support developers or whoever it is. So that is your AI agents who are taking the decision. For example, our chatbots making the tickets based on our inputs. So it will just capture the inputs and forward it to the level 2 support. Then there is a fifth level, which is the highest risk level. Here also in level 4, you can say there is still a chance of, like for example, there is a chance of risk. There is still a risk, big risk, that maybe I might have made mistake for giving the data. AI might have like AI might have taken the wrong decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the wrong category selected to the wrong people. It would be sent, right? So you won't get the inputs. Like your issue won't be resolved. Again, it's a risk factor. There is a risk involved, and if the issue is not resolved, for pharma company, if the issue with machineries is not resolved, then for example, let's consider you have a tablet manufacturing machine, and
Mm-hmm.
I am just running that machine, and I faced issue with the software of the machine. I raised a ticket, and it went to some other like support team. So that support team obviously will not resolve my problem. It will just move it. The ball will be in everyone's others courts, and my issue will still remain same. Now I have to make tablets for the patients, and the tablets are getting delayed. So obviously, my tablets are not going to the market. Patients are not getting that. Company is getting pressure from the customer side, or the finances will be low. The pressure from auditing side will be there, or if possible, if there is a possibility that I still sent the batch
Mm-hmm.
accordingly, and it will have a low content, a low API, or maybe you can say the active material which is actually benefiting you, or which is actually curing your disease. The content, if the content is low because my machine is not working properly, then
Mm-hmm.
there is a big risk to the patient, right?
Yeah.
It will be like your disease is not getting cured, or you will have certain severe implications, or you
Mm-hmm.
might die also in certain cases if you don't have a proper medicine in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that is the risk associated with still level 4 AI systems.
Okay.
Now the again level 5, when I talk about level 5, there is negligible human intervention. So, in that condition, nobody is taking the responsibility for the AI decisions. AI is doing everything. For example, agentic AI, right? So, agentic AI, if everything is done by the agentic AI and nobody is taking the responsibility of agentic AI, then how would you ensure that the decisions made by agentic AI are safer for the patients, or safer from the quality perspective, or you can say the data integrity perspective?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the approach given by the regulatory management. So this is how it has to be done. So you have to categorize AI autonomy as categorize the AI systems or subsystems as per the autonomy and as per the adaptiveness for in case of machine learning. So
Got
how
it.
AI is adapting the data, how AI is interpreting the data, and how the outputs are generated. So based on these two things, your risk management approach will be decided.
I mean, from these all things, what I feel like is definitely the solution which the agentic AI provides would reduce the time of the patient's, care, the supply. Everything would be reduced drastically, and the laborious work which was earlier done just to get to that
Yes.
suggestion would be
Yes.
exponentially changed. I think so.
Reduced. Yes, reduced. It's
Yes.
exponentially reduced, in fact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not like something like very from few hours it is still to few hours, it would be exponentially less, and that too with
yes,
backing of the data. That is very very helpful in that sense, and it would
exactly.
help more people to get the services easier and quickly and
Mhm.
also more accurately.
True, very true.
That's good to know. And from this perspective, like where does the ITQA or validation step in is to make this thing all audit ready, so to speak?
Yes. So basically, when I myself is a validator or I'm part of ITQA team. Okay, so basically when I talk about when I validate any system, I need to ensure the regulatory documentation is clear. So we basically work and we create the evidences that the system is continuously providing the accurate result, consistently providing the results accurate, consistent, and those are compliant result. Okay, so for that we need to create certain documentation. Like for example, like you created a batch of like 2 lakh tablets today, and the batch went to the market. It is already consumed by the patient, multiple patients, and the patients are facing certain issues. Now it will be audited by the regulatory agencies after 1 year or 6 months or whichever time frame they would want to. Right? It's up to them when they want to review your batch and documentation. So at that time you might not have those people who have created that batch. You might not have the results if you do not have it documented, right? You also might not have the content of that particular batch, right? So you cannot test it in the laboratory so that you can get the correct results from the regulatory point of view. And also, you if you do not have the document, then you do not have any evidence to prove that everything done by you was as per the standard operating procedures and as per the regulatory compliance. So the work of ITQA and validation is to generate those evidences and to ensure that the procedure is followed as per the standard operating procedure and as per the regulatory guidelines. So there comes the validation role. So we ensure that everything is documented, all incidents or all issues are properly addressed, the corrective actions and preventive actions are given on time, the kappa effectiveness check has been already performed, proper risk assessment is performed, the change management is performed, quality management system is in place, right, while performing all the activities. So that is the validation and ITQA's job. So we this is how we make the system or we make the project audit ready. So we prepare all the documents and we create all the evidences for the regulatory submissions.
Yeah, that's a responsible way to do it. Thank you, Akshay.
Yes.
Now, as we wrap up, the agentic AI is here to stay for sure, and its adoption is in the regulated industries like pharma must be governed by design. That I feel like, and not as an
Yes.
afterthought. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
And there
compliance and
comes the
mhm,
compliance. Yeah. So
yeah,
compliance have given you the quality by design concept, right? So
hmm,
you have to follow the quality by design concept so that you will incorporate the compliance in the design itself.
exactly. Like compliance and innovation can go hand in hand if we manage risk
Absolutely.
intentionally.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Akshay, for sharing these valuable insights. And for those listening to us, we hope this episodes give you a blueprint to innovate responsibly with Agentic AI and stay compliant, stay intelligent with that. This is the AI Accelerator podcast. Until next time, keep accelerating. Thank you so much, Akshay.
Thank you so much, Tushar, for inviting me. And thank you so much for this amazing session. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.